What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I have a video for you guys today. It's kind of gonna be a little unusual, but you can take this video and as a refresher video, as a reset video. This video is titled "My Truth" because I have to tell my truth. This is a restart for real because I've been dealing with so much. And I just want to tell my truth. That's it. That's all I want to do. I'm currently at the beach right now, trying to relax. If you've never noticed, people go to the beach all year round. Okay, it rained a little bit today, and the beach is not that packed, but it's people out here. A great deal of people out here. I am standing 6 feet away. I do have my mask, by the way, so don't say coronavirus over here, because I actually took a test for the first time and I came back negative. And I'm still kind of a little weirded out with filming in front of other people, but I'll get used to it one day or another. one day I will. But I have 3 topics that I want to talk to you guys about, and I've been trying to record this video for a very long time, but I guess it just wasn't right. So the 3 topics I want to talk about are bullying, relationships, and self-worth. Those are the 3 things that I struggle with. Out of everything in life, I think I struggle with those 3 the most. And this year, I'm not gonna let it ride anymore. I'm not gonna let it enter my happy space anymore. I'll say it that way, because this year's almost up. So we're gonna talk about bullying first. Bullying comes in all shapes and sizes, okay, and ages, okay. As a kid, I pretty much was like any other kid. I got bullied my whole entire life. And I think that did something to me as far as trying to figure out why I couldn't fit in. I used to wonder why I just could not fit in with a group of kids. I played sports in school. Well, I played sports in middle school throughout high school. But I was one of those kids that I wouldn't say I was popular, but everybody knew me. Like, everybody knew me, because we were either in classes together, or you knew me for sports, or just seeing me around school. I always had a joke to tell. Like, I was always funny. Like, I should have been the most popular funny person in school, but I still had an issue with bullies. I don't know why. Like, I was that girl. Bullying started as a child. One of my stories that is so vivid in my mind that I can remember and that stuck with me was when my mom was going to basic training and I stayed with my granddad for a while. I had one bully and one teacher bully. One child bully and one adult bully. And the adult bully became a bully and treated me badly because of who I was connected to. And it had no parts with me, but just who I was connected to and who was over me that she had a problem with. So she treated me badly. And the young girl, I don't even remember, nor do I care anymore of how that situation started with her. But it became like nitpicking at me at everything. And when I would tell a teacher, it's like as if they didn't care, or as if it didn't matter. And I remember one day, the teacher, we had the same teacher, and that teacher, but I would get paddlings. I would go to detention, and that time we had these little trailers that was offset from the actual classrooms that was considered the detention. And I'm like damn near 2nd, 3rd grade or 4th grade maybe in detention. And at that school, we still had paddling. So when I would get in trouble with the teacher for no reason at all, I either had the option to get a paddling or to go to detention for a week. And sometimes I would go to detention just to not even be around her in the whole class at all. And I felt like that was probably like better because nobody would, stand up for me. So I remember one day, and it's probably a Monday. It's probably one of like Mondays now. I came to school. It was pretty kosher. We get to lunch, and this little girl, we always had to go to the bathroom before we go to lunch. And this girl that bullied me so much, she did something, and I was about to walk out of the bathroom, and then something was just like, heck no, don't walk out of that bathroom. I turned around and I punched her. I slapped the hell out of her. We started fighting. And so the teacher that don't like me came in the bathroom, pulled us apart, and told me to go to the silent lunch table and that I was in trouble. That little girl who started with me first in the bathroom sat at the table and enjoyed her meal, talking, laughing, and playing, until some kids who came together and they finally told the teacher that it was not my fault. So in the middle of me sitting at the silent lunch table, lunch is almost over at this time, she tells me I can go back to the regular table and that I wasn't in trouble anymore. It was at that point I started feeling like nobody was for me. And of course, bullying continued throughout grade school. I traveled to different schools and it stayed. After that, I continued my school year there. When school year ended, I went back to my hometown. I stayed with my dad for a little bit, and I moved in with my grandmother, and I still continue to get bullied on the norm. You know how your kids ever come to you and be like, Mom, my teacher just don't like me. Most of the time it's because they always have a bad grade, and they're, always blaming on the teacher for not putting in grades. Sometimes it be true now. It be true. But in this case, it really was bullying for me. It really was bullying when it came to the adults. Like, that one adult in particular was supposed to be just what she is, an adult. And in the situation, she became a child. And she bullied me by not protecting me. Or when people... Bullying just don't mean... harassing or name picking and stuff like that. You can bully somebody by using the authority that you have over them, and that's exactly what happens when adults do bully children if you don't pay attention to it. Or bullying another adult, they will use the authority that they have over them to make you do what it is they want you to do, whether it's right or wrong, And even in a sense where in a classroom, I remember raising my hand and finally answering a question, and I answered the right answer, but she told me it was wrong. And then the next girl raises her hand and she says the exact answer I said, and she tells her it's right. So not only did she use her authority over me, but she humiliated me in front of the whole class. And maybe that's where other people saw fit to bully me, and that it was okay to, because our teacher was doing it. I got bullied throughout my whole year of school, really. And when I got to high school, and I there was only one school I feel like I didn't get bullied at, and I love that school. That was like my favorite school, and I guess that was like the one school that I had like popularity a little bit. I mean, I was never unpopular, if you let me tell it. But I wasn't like, I'm not that type of popular where if somebody mentions my name at a party, everybody's gonna come out to it. Some people will come out now. Okay, some people gonna come out, you know. I got a good name though. But but yeah, but a lot of people, like I said, I was the type of person everybody knew. They knew me for either being goofy or for playing sports. When I did started playing sports and made a name for myself. When I got to high school and I transferred different high schools, instead of going to the high school that was like, okay, where I live at, we have 2 high schools, 3 middle schools, and a whole bunch of elementaries. So if you live in a certain area, you're gonna go to the following schools. Well, we moved from the area in the region, so I end up not even going to the high schools that was in that area. I had to go to a different high school where I didn't grow up with these people. I don't know half of these people, so I had to be the new girl. And in life, I'm not gonna lie, my whole life I've always been the new girl. I've always been the new girl at each school I went to. I stayed at a school. The longest I stayed at a school was about 3 years. And that was this last high school I stayed at. And so, with that being said, I felt like being a new girl was even harder because now I really have to try to make friends and fit in, and I was used to one thing, and what they do over here they don't do over here. So and then when you go in somebody else's territory, they might look at you funny because they're like, what the hell are you doing? We don't do that over here. Like if West Side, they wear pink shirts, and North Side, they don't wear pink at all. They're like, pink is against the law over there, and you come in with a pink shirt, they're gonna like look at you funny. So that was another reason why I felt like I had to fit in, because I'm the new girl. But when I got to the high school, like I said, I didn't know anybody. I didn't grow up with anybody over there. So I tried to be like quiet a lot, and I was really shy to make friends. So I would wait till somebody come up to me, or if we're in a class, and I would try to make jokes sometimes, but just not off the rip. It had to be like the spirit of the moment, like the teacher fall and bust his tail, and I'd be like, oh hell, that nigga just, yeah, that would be me. The spirit of the moment. And so when I got to the school, I met a couple of people that I thought were cool and would make great friends, but not all of them are my friends. I only have one friend from that school. Well, one friend that I could say that is my best friend. That is my best friend. I have a lot of acquaintances from that school, but nobody that ride for me like her. Alright, so this is where the relationship part come in. So my 10th grade year, I moved to the school. I fell in love with this boy, and I don't know how I fell in love with this boy. When 10th grade year was over, it wasn't bad or topsy-turvy or whatever, but that's when our relationship really was over. 11th grade year came along, and I find myself being more trying to put it back together and feeling like I needed to be with him. But at this moment, I still didn't know why I wanted to be with this boy. Things happened where it began with him saying he wanted to be with me, texting me all the time, to walking in the hallway and you're holding another girl's hand, you're kissing the other girl, you're, putting her out publicly on your pages, and y'all are officially together, and then that took a dig at me, because now I'm like, damn, what's wrong with me? Like, why did we go from you wanting to show me off to now I'm just a secret? And so, okay, let me help y'all so y'all can keep on track with me as I go, because I know I can get all over the place. I went from being bullied all the time in school to being bullied by kids my age to being bullied by adults, to transfer from school to school, to always being the new girl, and now I'm at a school and I fall for a guy. So I already had a dig problems with me, because I was feeling that rejection. So I'm already dealing with rejection when it comes to friendships, and I'm already feeling that lack of protection when it comes to adults. So I never really know that, especially at a young age, because I was about, what I was like, I don't even know how old I was when it started happening, but I was damn near 6 years old when it started, till now I'm at the age where I'm about 13, 14, 15, or I was like 15, 16 in the 10th grade. And now I haven't dealt with those issues because I didn't know about those issues, but now I'm about to add more issues into the mix, because now I'm in junior year. What was it, 17? Yeah, I was 17, junior year. I see this boy playing me, constantly playing me, but I'm falling for the bait because I couldn't get him off my mind. I wanted to be with him. I wanted to have that relationship that people, wanted to be in. I wanted to feel loved. I wanted to know that I'm enough for somebody. So I kept getting rejected still. In the midst of my rejection, I started making myself feel like I'm not worth it. So now I'm feeling worthless. Then senior year comes, the summer of senior year. I let this person take my virginity, even though he did all of this stuff to me. And we created what they have out there, or that is known out there as soul ties. So everything that this guy is dealing with, I'm now dealing with, times what I've been dealing with. As senior year goes on, the same things happen. I mean, we had the same, oh, I want to be with you, oh, I love you, throughout my 3 years of being there. But the whole 3 years just didn't work. So then I move on to another guy after school, and he showed some difference. But the moment I said I wasn't going to give him something that he really wanted, he showed his hand. Okay, sorry about that. My mom had to call. She always interrupted my stories. But yeah, so I went from grade school, feeling the rejection, the lack of protection, to now coming to high school to get rejected by love. Or that wasn't even really love. It's really not love in high school. So if you're a high schooler and you're in a relationship right now, it's really not real love, because what you'll fail to realize, real love has so many different components to it than what we think it. It's not just about matching. It's not about being a couple goals, and it's not about, do I know your favorite color? It's a lot more than that, and it's definitely not all just cheating and being faithful. But I'm gonna get to that, okay? So I go from grade school to feeling the lack of protection from an adult, to being bullied and being rejected in groups of any group, right? I come to high school, I feel the same rejection when it comes to being in groups, but it's a little better. I fall for a guy who has no intentions of ever being real with me, because he doesn't even know how to be real with himself, but I don't know that yet. And my mind is stuck. Then I go from sophomore, junior, senior year to creating a soul tie with this person who doesn't even ever think about being tied to me at any point in life. Then I go and graduate. I haven't healed from any of that past hurt, pain, rejection, feeling, nothing. Now, not only did I graduate from high school, I have these wonderful accolades with getting my certificate and certification in phlebotomy, getting my first real JOB, not a Burger King, McDonald's job, a real job where I'm working from 2 to 10 at a hospital, drawing blood, a career actually. Some people make this out of a career. So I'm starting something. I just got into college, may not have been a 4-year college, but I'm in there, right? Then I still get the rejection feeling because the older people there are downing me every chance I get. When I say that, I mean they made it harder for me because it was hard for them. And I hear a lot of your older people say, these kids these days, they don't care who they disrespect. They don't care about life. They don't want to work. They don't want to do this. But these people who are set in their ways don't know how to talk to us young folks. And I say that because they think we're all the same. It is like if you have 3 kids, each child is different. 2 may listen, 1 may not. You can't think because you can scare this one over here that he's going to get in line. And then you think you can actually whoop that one and he gets in line. But if you're scared, whoop that one, he's not going to fall in line. But you have to go about the situation differently because they're all different. So, that's what I think a lot of older people, that generations before mine, don't realize. We're all different. So you can't sit there and put me in the category that they are in just because we were born in the same millennial. It is just like your generation, it's different. And I definitely feel like at my age I progressed earlier than a lot of kids my age. So people their age was expecting me to act immature. They were expecting me to do immature things, and when it didn't happen, they wanted to make it happen to prove that all kids or all people of my generation are the same. For instance, when I started working that job, like I said, it was my first job. I've never stuck anybody besides in the classroom getting my license. A lot of the patients were scared because they felt like they wanted somebody with experience than somebody who was unexperienced. So they saw me as unexperienced instead of saying, she got this job for a reason, so I'm going to give it a try. Because what they did to me in the ER was ridiculous. But I had to prove myself in that instance. So me proving myself felt like hell to me because it's like you could see it. I don't have to prove it. You can see it, but I felt like they weren't seeing it good enough, so I had to prove myself. So one incident happened where at this time I got tired of patients telling me I need to go get somebody experienced without giving me a chance. So I was sticking this individual, which was a guy, and he was in the ER, and the people that came with him or that was visiting him, they wouldn't give me any room, for one, and the room was already small. So I could not, I couldn't stick him properly because I didn't have the space, and she was like leaned over my shoulder, and she was hovered over my shoulder, and she kept criticizing before doing anything. And so I did go into one of the, hardest spots ever. And if you're not careful or not skillful enough, it will hurt. The whole time she was fussing, why are you going there? I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't do this. She was doing that. So the guy that's in the bed who I'm sticking was telling her it didn't hurt. I did get upset. I took the needle out. I threw it away. I went to the nurse's section and I said, you're going to have to deal with them. I'm not dealing with them. And I walked out. It's already time for me to go. It's 7:30. So I left. I get in my car. I did make a Snapchat video. And what I was saying in my Snapchat video was pretty much, I'm so tired of people always looking at me as a child when I'm grown up. You know what I'm saying? A child doing this, a child doing that. You can't do this, you can't do that. People, my whole entire life has had a plan for me before I've had a plan for myself. And that gets frustrating. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just random people. It's people in my family. It's people that I've went to church with. They felt like I would be pregnant at a young age, but I'm not, and nor have I ever been. They felt like, I wouldn't be successful. I wouldn't do the things that I'm doing. Some people felt like I would. Some people felt like I wasn't. And even with family, they've had putting like my siblings or my cousins as like they have to be like me. And I always felt the pressure of having to be perfect at all times, or having to be strong at all times. Like it was no time for weakness for me. It was no let up when it came to me, and I didn't like that. And dealing with that, and now that I'm realizing I never healed from that. And so I'm going into these jobs and I'm going into these schools and these relationships, and it's all hitting me at one time. And I don't know what to do, because I just don't know how to, let it go or heal from it, or properly just get the help that I need, I guess, in a sense. So in the job, I made the Snapchat video. I had 2 people on my Snap that I worked with, and 1 I went to school with. And there was only 1 person. She showed our supervisor the video. And the supervisor, our shift leader, and a whole team of other people didn't like me at this time. They had already been plotting on how to get me fired or how to wing me out. And the supervisor, she had so-called, she told me that the corporate had got the video and brought it to her attention, when really the person who was on my Snapchat, who I saw, crazy thing about Snapchat with older folks, I don't know if they know we can see you when you watch our story, so why wouldn't I think it's you? She really showed her the thing. So the whole time she was saying, corporate showed me this video, I don't know what they're gonna do, they're possibly gonna fire you. Now mind you, it's almost my year mark, and the whole time I've been there, everybody has been, if they was a shift leader or a supervisor, they've been talking about, oh, you can get fired for this, I'm gonna write you up for this, I'm gonna write you up for this. But not any one of them showed me the proper protocol of what it takes to work in that hospital. I had to learn that on my own. I had to learn the ins and outs on my own. I had to learn the floor on my own. I had to learn how to approach patients on my own. I had to build a name as a phlebotomist on my own. And so, which is sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's a good thing. So moving forward. So yeah, she snitched on me or whatever. And for a couple of months, for about 2 months straight, they had been harassing me about the Snapchat video. I asked to see the video. They said I couldn't see the video. She told me that they were emailing her back and forth, that she would show me the emails, but she didn't show me the emails. She had me sign papers. I don't know what I was signing at the time, but I had to re-sign it twice, because what she was trying to do was she was actually trying to get me in trouble. But whoever corporate was, they wasn't having it, and it didn't go through. And she kept saying I'm lucky because most people would get fired and all this kind of stuff. Right? And in reality, I was explaining how I was just so upset of how people treat me like I just can't do something, or I'm just not good enough. And so after that 2 months, things started heating up. They were still harassing me. I was having panic attack after panic attack, but I was having them without them seeing me. And so my first panic attack that they seen was my 8th panic attack. And what happened was, I had came to work early and switched shifts with one of the girls that I was working with. I was like, can I switch weekends with you or something like that? I think it was a weekend or a day. It was a day off or something, and I switched with her. And she was like, well, I had picked on, early shift or whatever. I was like, all right, cool, I'll work that too. I got there to work early. Mind you, they didn't even need nobody to work early because they was fully staffed. So I was like asking some of the ladies, if you're not busy, or if you're busy, can I please go with you and help you? So one of the ladies, she was like, yeah, you can come to me. And we went to, it's kind of like the psych ward. And I ended up sticking the patient that she wanted, or that she had problems with. So it was like, how it is in the hospital, if I have a heart stick, I have to call downstairs or try to see if anybody else can come try this person, or the nurse will try. So it was a good safe phone call because I was right there and I was able to get the person. My supervisor, who was holding this Snapchat thing over my head and tried to get me fired and all this extra stuff, calls me. Now, mind you, my number wasn't on the board, but it was on the paper. And I told the people downstairs where I was going to be. And they said, okay. She calls me and she says, first of all, how did you know my number? Because it's not on the board, it's on the paper. And I told the lady that was on the desk, this is my number, right? So let me tell you what she said. She says, where are you? Nobody knows where you are. And you need to be down here just in case somebody needs your help. So I need to be downstairs to be available if somebody needs my help. The woman that I was with needed my help. And so I get downstairs, and the lady at the desk, she just says, the supervisor wants you. So I go to her office, and she's like, I'm going to have to write you up because you was not available. Miss such and such didn't know where you were. And I was like, that's a lie. If she didn't know where I was, how did you find my number? How did she tell you who I was with? And so she was getting mad or whatever. And she was like, but I'm still gonna have to write you up. And I was like, you know what, do whatever you want. I literally said, do whatever you want. I don't even care no more. And as I was saying that, I started getting riled up. And so I'm walking out of her office. In the middle of walking out of her office, halfway down, trying to go out the whole laboratory, I started panicking. I'm having a panic attack. I fell. She was walking behind me. Y'all get this? She was walking behind me. And homegirl did nothing. I walked outside. I fell outside or whatever. And somebody from the outside came and saw and got help. They screamed on the inside. Now, she was walking behind me. Her ass dipped off in the lab and tried to go out the other way after she seen me fall, so she could say that she wasn't in there when it happened. And they screamed inside to get help. And then somebody was like, oh, I'm going to call the supervisor. And my whole body shut down. It was like, no, don't call her. And one of the ladies was like, I think this is who caused this issue. They finally got me to the emergency room or whatever. My mom tried to get in contact with her. And she told my mom a straight up bull-faced lie that she did not see me have a panic attack. So after that, I went to Human Resources, and I told them I didn't want to talk to her. I don't care if I work with her, she can email me. I don't care if she's my boss, she can email me. If it's that important, email me. Because the people of corporate, you don't always talk to them on the phone. They send you emails. So why couldn't it be that way? The lady continued to harass me, y'all. She continued to harass me, and her sidekick over there were doing the same thing. It was like they were tag teaming me. And she kept saying, after speaking with HR, we can't just talk through emails and all this yada 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 yada. Then it got to the point where when she left or was about to leave for a little while, I started getting into it more with her little buddy, her sidekick. And I finally blew up on her. This stuff had been built up. I've been having these panic attacks where they were calming me down, trying to calm me down, or they were like, you're going to have a heart attack. And I just couldn't take it anymore. I just could not take the way I was being treated any longer. So let's go back. And I'm going to add something new because I didn't add it then. My whole life, people always had their own plan for me before I could have a plan for myself. I was dealing with bullying since grade school by adults and kids my age. I get to high school, I fall in love with a guy who has no intentions of ever falling in love with me or getting to know me because he doesn't know himself. I then get to senior year, create the soul tie with this person who never wanted to be tied down to me in the first beginning. Now I'm still getting bits and pieces of things from him, that he's never dealt with or that he even knew that he had in him. They're now transferred to me. I get out of high school, graduate, get into another job. It's my first real job, and I'm going through stressful times with feeling like these people of so-called power is once again using that to make me or break me down so that they can use me for their benefit. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm still getting bullied at this point, and I'm working. I'm having panic attacks, but yet I don't have no coping mechanism other than the fact that I put a wall up to try to not let people in because I feel like they're gonna hurt me. And then at the same time, now I am dating in the midst of this, and I find another person who, well, technically I didn't find him, but you might as well say I found him because it didn't end up right. I get with this person, and he shows me who he is by me saying I don't want to do something he wants. And that went sideways. So my heart is still broken because I really have not gotten over the first soul tie that I created. And then I end up creating another soul tie, which I can tell which one is strongest because no matter what I've went through or what I'm going through, hurt me. And I feel him more than I feel anybody else. So now I move on trying to heal. I've made up in my mind I'm gonna heal. I switched jobs and everything. I'm in a new job. The job is going great. Okay, I'm feeling like a breath of fresh air. I get in this new relationship that I really wasn't trying to get in at the time. I did not even find the guy attractive, but you know, people were saying stuff like, well, the ones you don't want and the ones you push away be the ones for you. So I finally gave this person an opportunity. I stuck in this relationship for 2 years. In 2 years, I have physically been drained, mentally, and I'm not even going to completely speak on that subject because I'm still going through with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no longer in the relationship, but I've been mentally drained, okay? And then on top of that, the new job that I went to, still doing the same thing, still drawing blood. It was going good for the first couple of months. Get to about July, all hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. And I noticed at this job, which was kind of the same at the other job, but it was more so at the other job, I'm going to show you that my power is more than yours. I'm going to show you that I have the power and you don't. That's what I felt at my first job. At my second job, I felt because I didn't do what I was supposed to do and you called me out on it, now I got to get you. So now I'm feeling like that at this job. I'm being told I'm not doing my job. And I'm working at a prison. And so it's really kind of hard when you work at a prison and there are people that are not doing their job. It's really kind of hard to stay in that predicament because prisons are one of the most places, one of the very important places where everybody has to be on their job. Everybody has to, because you have inmates in there that are doing serious time, that are watching you. And so with them watching you, then they know the ropes. They know what they can get away with, what they can do and what they can't do. And if you leave a gateway open for them, they're going to take it. So if this guy over here is not doing his job, but his job is the next door to mine, you just let a gateway open, the door open for an inmate to come in, and now they have to antagonize me and do so much more, and try to catch me slipping. And because you're not doing your job and I call you out on it, now you're going to try to go behind my back and make me try to slip. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm going through with that, and at the same time, I'm in another relationship that is not for me, but at the time, it wasn't about me seeing that it wasn't for me. It was about, why the hell I gotta go through this? Why I couldn't be like, okay, God, you said at a young age, you have people prophesy to me and you say you're gonna be married early, or your husband is coming. Oh, you say all of these things, but yet I can't see it because of what I'm going through. Yeah, I can't feel it because of how I'm feeling right now. Like, it really started to look like the bad outweighed the good, and I couldn't hear God anymore, and I couldn't feel him anymore, because I started thinking about the trauma that I dealt with in school, the trauma that I dealt with in my childhood, the things people were doing to me, and it just didn't feel good anymore. I couldn't trust anybody. And I never wanted to be where I couldn't love again. I never wanted it to be where I'm just cold-hearted. I didn't want it to be like that, because I want to feel love. I don't want to, see that person who's for me and can't give him what he needs to give, and he be with the next person. In each situations, I only wanted to feel included, loved, protected, and needed, and I didn't feel that way. And every time I was dealing with an issue, it was another issue that same day, and another issue that same day. It was like I was in a box in all 4 angles, was an issue. And I had to be in that box. And it was hard for me to deal with those issues because they're all coming at me at one time. So now the boxes is closing in. And I felt like I lost my strength to deal with those issues. So, I say all of that to say that if you was ever one of those people that doubted me, that outed me, this is a warning for you. I have found the strength, the courage, the forgiveness, and the willpower to let God handle it all. I will heal from those things that tried to break me, that tried to make me feel less than, and those things that ultimately tried to kill me. For everybody that said, thought, acts, and it's not just family members, it's random people too, I'm not pregnant. And to prove that I'm not pregnant, watch this clip. Before I go and wrap this video up, I just want to say, don't ever let a dude or a little boy, because no man will tell you that you can't think for yourself or that you can never make a decision for yourself when you know you're making the decision for yourself. Most of the time, guys that are very, very insecure, they put themselves on you. And what I mean by that is all the things that they struggle with, that they deal with, that they know they are doing, they put it off on you. It's just like a man that says, oh, you cheating on me, you cheating on me, you cheating on me, and then they turn out to be the ones that cheating. So it's like that. Because I know in this last relationship, I learned so much, bro. I learned what a relationship exactly needs to be like. A relationship is not based on good gestures for somebody, or I spoil you on your birthday or Christmas or whatever. That is not a relationship. Just because you didn't cheat and you so-called stay loyal does not make the relationship perfect, because there are a lot of components to a relationship. Okay, first of all, if I don't trust you, that's a problem. A relationship cannot survive. And if it can, let me know, because I've never seen one that can survive without trust. And just because you don't cheat don't mean that's why I don't trust you. If you still lie about your whole existing, or lying, period, why would I want to be in a relationship with you? If you are forceful, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. You're controlling and manipulative, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. And I don't think anybody should be in a relationship with somebody like that. Okay? If you have a personality disorder, or whatever the cause may be, mentally, you're not supposed to be in a relationship at this moment, because mentally you can't handle what goes on in a relationship, period. So you need to find out how to help yourself deal with your mental disorder. Okay? But yeah, that's my video, guys. This is my truth. And I give a damn what anybody has to say, because I went through it. And I survived. And it's definitely more than what I'm just saying. It stems for a line of stuff. But these are some of the recurrent things that have happened over these 2 years that was back to back to back to back. And at this point in my life, I have decided that I am going to love Khadijah. I am going to give me what I've been missing. Okay, and if a new guy come along, he come along. But but I'm gonna take the advice that Tyler Perry says. You know, I'm gonna, see a guy in all 4 seasons. I'm going to love myself so that people know how to love me when they do come to me. I'm going to not change who I am, but grow. I'm going to continue to learn, be full of knowledge, because truly, I'm amazing, and I don't care who don't know it, who knows it, who don't care about it. I am one of the most incredible women on this earth, okay? And all those people who say they didn't need me, watch you turn around and need me. But have a good day.